All right, so it's time to put the two footy players into our social media post. And if you have a look back in our collection of images here, this is the image of Reece Walsh and Adam Reynolds that we want to put into Photoshop. Cut them out from that and then stick it onto our picture here. So I'm going to go to File and open up that image. So it opens up in a new tab. So you can see you've got two tabs at the top here. In the Reynolds and Walsh tab, we're going to select Adam Reynolds first. All right, so we're going to do this a quick way. Instead of using the quick selection tool, let's use the object selection tool. It's a very plain background, so Photoshop should have no worries cutting these fellas out of the image. Now I should be able to just go and click once on Adam Reynolds. It's recognized it as an object, and Photoshop will take a couple of seconds just to make the selection around him. And that's perfect. So I am going to go to Edit. Oh, I just lost that. There it is. It's back again. I just realised if I look at his hand here, hasn't quite selected everything just there. So I'm going to grab my quick selection tool and just go over that part of the ball that hasn't selected. It's looking a bit better now. I thought it would have done a good job of cutting him out, but it obviously missed a bit. But that looks pretty good now. So we've got the ball selected. Everything else seems to be selected well. So the quick selection tool did come in handy there just to make that extra selection. And we can go to Edit, Copy, over to our designs and go to Edit, oops, and Paste. There we have it. We've got our picture of Adam Reynolds in looking very good. Whoops. Use your Move tool to pick him up. Move him to the right and put him below these sponsor and TV logos. Somewhere around there I think will look pretty good. And then we're going to do the same for Reece Walsh. So head back over to Reece Walsh, grab your object selection tool and select Reece Walsh. Now I don't know if it's going to select both of them at the same time. No, it didn't, so that's good. It's selected just Reece Walsh. That's pretty good, I think. So let's go and copy him. Go to the Edit menu, copy, and then we're going to go back to the tab over here with our original drawing or design, sorry, and we're going to paste him in. Okay, the old hair looks a little bit funny, but that's okay. So I'm going to use the Move tool to just move him off to the right. Now don't move him so far that you chop his arm off. I think we can leave him centered enough for his elbow to be on the page, and just move him down to a similar height of Adam Reynolds there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now with these fellas in here, what we're going to do next is put an effect on them so that the top half of their bodies are completely visible, but the bottom half are faded out. Okay, now to do that, we're going to start with layer 1, which is Adam Reynolds. In fact, I might click on layer 1 and just call it Reynolds, so we know who's who. And in layer 2, we'll just rename that to Walsh, so we know that those are our two player layers. So on the Reynolds layer, I'm going to make a layer mask first of all down the bottom here for this effect. So press the little shape that's a rectangle with a circle inside of it. And you'll see a little white box appears, which is good. Now we're going to grab the gradient tool from our toolbox. Press the letter G for the shortcut. And up the top, make sure you have got selected this black and white gradient from the Basics tab here. Okay, yeah, they're all the same pretty much, but we want the first one that goes from a white to black. And we're going to click somewhere around Reece Walsh's chest and drag down. Oh, sorry, not Reece Walsh. It's Adam Reynolds we want. So we'll click on Adam Reynolds' chest and drag down. And you can see that it starts fading him out. The longer we drag this line down, the more we'll see of him. The shorter that line is, the less we'll see. So you want to chop him off just around the footy area there. So where you can just see the footy, that's about where we want it. You could probably even drag it up a little bit higher so you can barely see that footy. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now if you click off him there, you can see the bottom half of Adam Reynolds now is faded out nicely, which is going to be good because we're going to put some text across this bottom section, so it's going to help us read the text. Do the same for Reece Walsh now. So click on the Reece Walsh layer, make a layer mask down the bottom, and we're going to go and grab that gradient tool. Make sure at the top you've got that first option from the Basics folder selected. It's fading from white to black. And again, start from Reece Walsh's chest area and drag down. Okay, we're going to get it to fade out at a similar position, probably around where his hands are on his hips. And that should look pretty good, I think. Excellent. So we've got both our players in. Now to make them stand out a little bit more, what I might do is put a glow around each of these players. It's not going to be a very visible glow, but just a subtle one to help them pop out from the background. So starting with Adam Reynolds, if you double click next to his name here in the layers panel, in that empty space, a box will come up called the layer style box. You should be able to zoom in a bit on Adam Reynolds here so we can actually see the effect take place. Kind of already looks like he's got a bit of a glow around his head. That's just the cutting out job Photoshop did. But if you go down to near the bottom, outer glow, and check that box, that's what you need to turn on. Now the settings I've got here have been remembered from a previous time I created this image. So this is what you need to change yours to. We want the mode to be screen and the opacity around 30%. Probably go around 50% if you want to see a bit more of that glow, which that's fine. So about 50% I might stick with. The color is going to be that purpley kind of color that we had in the background before. So make sure you go and choose that kind of purpley color. And down the bottom, the spread will be 0%. You can have a look if you make it bigger, it looks a bit weird. So 0% spread. Size, up to you, but if you make it bigger and smaller, you'll see the different effects that you get. But I'm going to go around that 30 to 35 pixel mark. I might go with 30. Click OK. All right, now Adam Reynolds has a bit of a glow around him. Doesn't look too bad. Now if I go down and in my layers panel here, you can actually hide the outer glow and see the effect that that has on Reynolds. Okay, so it does certainly help him pop out. And if you want to do the same to Reece Walsh, all you need to do is double click next to the Walsh name layer and check the outer glow box, and that will automatically apply the same settings you just put on Adam Reynolds. So click OK, and now both players have a bit of an outer glow around them, just helping them stand out from the background. Alright, so that's all I'm going to show you in this part of the video tutorial. That is our that's our two players done. In the next one, we're going to start adding some text that runs across the top of the players. So I'll see you shortly in the next video.